Well, you are sound boy. Mix that up a little bit and a little sweet. How many people they get nicer?
Welcome to Figarow's Cheeba Chat. I'm Figarow and I'll be your host. So today's episode is going to be about the history of 420. So we're going to go back in time to the end of the 60s, the end of the hippie era, post-Woodstock, early 1970s in San Rafael area, Marin County, Northern California, Marin County, California. San Rafael High School, there's 5 students. All these students are juniors, and they are all very well known, very popular jocks in the school. And regardless of how the rest of the story plays out, they would get out of practice and meet up as friends to hang out at 420 after their after school curricular extracurricular activities, their sports. And so already previous to this kind of the rest of this going into it, they already had this kind of 420 is that's our time to let go, that's our time to kick it. So as it progresses, and if you listen to interviews, they talk about smoking at 420 in their cars in the parking lots and things like that. It's usually 5 students. I'm not going to go through different names, but regardless, that's some of the stuff you'll hear. So as the story goes, basically the way it breaks down is this: there was a Coast Guard officer, and he was a military officer. He was in, and what happened was he had a little plantation, a little secret Eden of pop that he had cultivated and was cultivating actively, and it was on the outskirts of the base from where he was a military post. He was a watchman. As he began to get suspicious that he was getting found out upon, that someone was aware that he was scurrying off into the bushes at night to take care of these crops and check on them and give them the things that they needed, he abandoned the campaign. He abandoned taking care of his crops. And what he did then was come up with this kind of idea of just kind of like a general map of how to get to them. Very basic. He didn't want anyone to track it back to him. And as that followed, these students get a hold of it. These 5 San Rafael kids, San Rafael High School, and these kids are known as the Waldos. And the reason they had that nickname is because they used to all hang out against this wall by the high school, and like I said, they were very well known, so that was their nickname, the Waldos. So these 5 Waldos would get together every day at 420 after practice and smoke, and then go on a mission in search of this hidden Garden of Eden, this secret pot field, and they never found it. It's brought up many great activities for them, and it started to evolve where it'd be like, hey man, 420, right? Because they knew every day at 420 that's what they were going to do. And this kind of slowly took off. Big helper here was the Grateful Dead. There's a lot of ties and intercultural influences with the Grateful Dead and 420 influence, and how that started and how it spread, and just the little actual person-to-person ties between the families of the original 5 Waldos and the Grateful Dead. These people lived in the same community, and bankers, taxman, whatever, they all interact with each other on a very basic level prior to becoming big. So very interesting stuff there. But so this 420 term grew, and as the Grateful Dead grew and took it, kind of carried along with them through the United States, this 420 term became this national thing. And then with all the influence of the Reagan administration and all this stuff and the anti-drug campaigns, instead of moving it in a negative direction, or say moving it in a direction of minimizing its growth, it became very, very popular and well known to the point that it is today. And that is the history of 420. It is because 5 students in San Rafael High School in the county of San Marin, California, in 1973, came upon a goddamn treasure map of weed from no one else than a military officer abandoned it because he didn't want to get caught. I'll see you next time on Figarow's Cheeba Chat.